So with EB02 right around the corner, of course, I wanted to update a deck that I've been having a lot of fun with, Boa. And I just wanted to test out one specific card in this matchup, in this meta, right? Specifically, of course, for green purple Luffy being the deck to beat, being a very good deck, a new deck, and a Luffy deck specifically. So all of those factors into why, I think it's gonna be very popular, right? It was very popular over in the East. I didn't keep up too much with the EB02 meta, but I know that green purple Luffy revolves around Sanji Pudding. So I wanted to see how Boa could fare against that card, right? We all know it's a very strong card, a 5 cost that gets buffed up to a 7 with their stage. We'll go through it real quick. So the card that I was looking in Boa to kind of counter that being Mihawk, a strong pick. This is a card that I've often just used as one of in the deck, right? It's searchable with 7 warlords, but it's a weird stat line where it's a 9 cost, so you can still on 10 Dawn play something else out to help get your hand size down to 5 cards for that, draw with the leader ability. But the fact that it bottom decks a 7 or less means that you get rid of that Sanji Pudding, right? Which is very nice. Obviously, the 7 cost Doflamingo, a nice card as well. But yeah, this card really is what makes the green purple Luffy run. So being able to just get rid of it and establish very big body, if we can live that long, it seems pretty crucial. Honestly, I think I'd want to up our blocker count to 8 by upping the, right? I almost would want to cut out a Kaido for it, but Kaido's not searchable. He's still a very good card in a lot of other matchups, but specifically against the Luffy, I think just having another blocker would be okay, right? But what is this stage? Isn't it Going Merry, right? Or yeah. So this is the stage that comes out in EB02. It gets to draw a card if you have Straw Hat Crew type, and then activate main, rest the stage if you have less Dawn than your opponent or equal to, right? You can give one of your Straw Hat Crew type characters plus 2 costs to the end of your opponent's next turn. That means that if your opponent's green purple Luffy is using this stage to the best of their ability, Dawn minusing when they should for lead ability and such like that, our 3000 Worlds isn't going to hit it for the Sanji Pudding. So definitely these 7 cost targets are very crucial. Just want to test out the Mihawk. Not sure if we need 3 copies, maybe just 2, right? Again, they are searchable from Sengoku. So yeah, definitely I think Boa could still possibly be a decently strong deck through EB02. I think once set 11 comes along, obviously it's about blue purple Luffy and things that can kind of do well into that and then revolve around that. And I don't think the Boa would have too much of a place in that for the time being. So this might be the last set that we take a look at this deck. Definitely cool blue decks down the line with like Kuzan and such. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. But yeah, just very, very curious how Boa will do in the EB02 meta. Of course, leave a like, subscribe if you guys want to get into this deck profile. Firstly though, if you want to support the channel, make sure to check out the links in the description. My TCG player affiliate link is down there if you guys are going to be buying any cards. Clicking that just helps support me. And I also have a code for Nen Garden, Straw Hat Pecan, for 5% off any of their playmats. I use a few of them for my locals videos. They just, they have a lot of stuff pretty stocked up right now. They have some desk mats and all that. Check that out if you want some dope playmats. Getting into it though, if you're not familiar with Boa, she's a 5-life blue leader. During your turn, once per turn, you may activate this ability when a character leaves the field from one of your effects. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, you draw 1 card. So it's all about keeping our hand size at that 5 or less. Pretty tricky to do sometimes, but if you manage your cards right, if you are stacking your deck properly, you know what's coming up, you can pretty well manage this. Mihawk, obviously the first card that we talked about, the 9 cost 9k power, on play bottom decks a 7 cost or less. right? Perfect for that Sanji Pudding, getting rid of that big target and then establishing a 9k power body, right? Forward blocker Doflamingo to stack our deck and a nice blocker. 2 Perona, another 1 cost that helps us stack deck as well. 4 Kaya, good 2k counter, on play draw 2, trash 2, really nice to get rid of cards you don't want. We don't run any 0 cost event. Kaya is the way that we get rid of bricks that we don't need, right? 3 10 cost Kaido. You on play return a cost 8 and a cost 3 character to the original owner's hand, so you can bounce back your own characters, your opponent's characters, 1 and 1, right? 2 copies of Pudding, really nice just to have. 4 Croc, 2k counter, but also I have used his on play quite a bit. You know, if you have nothing else to activate your leader ability with, as long as you have a 1 cost character of your own, which, you know, I think we have around like 17 or so in the deck. This is on play. You rest a Dawn, you return a 2 cost or lower to your hand, or your opponent's cost 2 or lower to their hand, right? But you can bounce back your Perona, your Kaya, your Sengoku, your Buggy, you know, a lot of targets. We have Sengoku, our searcher for 7 Warlords. 4 Jozu, still really nice. Bounce a 6 cost or less. That 7k stat line I feel like is very, very nice. In fact, he has counter, you know, and 6 Dawn, right? The earliest 7k power stat line that we can get out, of course. And if you're going to be swinging into any of these Sanji Puddings or anything, right? Like, obviously it's nice to have that 7k stat line. We have 3 blocker Law, just a 1 cost blocker, very good value when you're dealing with a lot of big swings coming at you. Just get out of it for 1 Dawn, and it's another 1 cost character that we can play out, right? It's searchable, which is really nice. 2 of these 7 cost Doflamingos bounce a 7 cost character to the original owner's hand. Again, really nice to get rid of that Sanji Pudding. 4 bounce Law, bounce back a 4 cost. So a lot of times this bounces back whatever your opponent just played out on their 3 Dawn or 4 Dawn turn, which is nice to tempo your opponent with. Our last 2k counter is Buggy. Again, another 1 cost character. We can stack our deck. Nice searchable 2k. Getting into events, we run 2 3000 Worlds, 3 Red Rock. Again, just testing it out. I think there'll still be a lot of Shanks. Not even just because Shanks is still a very good deck or anything. I've heard that EB02 is going to be pretty hard to get. So for the first few weeks, I assume there's going to still be a lot of like Shanks, Blackbeard and such around the older decks, right? So I'd probably run this at 4 copies, especially in the beginning of EB. But I'm just testing it out to fit in more Mihawk, right? Because I want to test this card and see how it feels in the matchup. And then 2 Gravity Blade. Obviously, can't hit a buffed up Sanji Pudding, but if they're not able to, you know, you can hit one of them and then something else like a blocker. Pretty nice. So yeah, that's the list. Let me know what you think. Definitely some ratio changes we can make with the new format. And again, I'm just testing out the 9 cost Mihawk, so I want to see how it feels. But let's get into some games. All right. We do get to pick. I think we'll still go. Well, actually, we'll go first. So we hit Mihawk on curve, and we got 2 of them. It's not great to have nothing to play out, but we have a blocker to play out on 3 Dawn and a 2k, so that's not horrible. And it's playing off of a kind of not great hand, which I kind of like sometimes. 2 searchers is a lot. He finds the Sanji Pudding, so we're gonna have to look for an answer, right? See what he picks up, and he gets the secret of Luffy. Ooh, go 5 at life while we still can. He takes, let's see. Ooh, that's not horrible, right? Sengoku might be able to find one a little deeper, or we can take this blocker, play out another blocker, look another 5 deep. If he goes 5 at us, we'll counter 2. Maybe not if he doesn't have a 4 costs to play out. He gets the Frankie. Okay, that'll give him something. Yeah. Now I wish I found an answer to Frankie. I didn't expect... I don't know why I didn't expect anything. Let's see if we can find a... I mean, we're only looking one more deep. I'm not really worried too much about the Frankie as much as I am about Kaido. Okay, well, that's not exactly what we would want. But we got a 2K for a 5K swing, which is nice. We're just going to put up every blocker in the game, and that is kind of crazy. We'll take the Gravity Blade and then just 2K counters. I guess we're going to go with the strategy of survive long enough to win off playing 2 Mihawks and a Kaido. That is 3 blockers on the board, 5 life still. We can afford to take 1 swing. There's the Sanji Pudding. Don't have the stage. If you don't have the stage, we're actually really good. He might not. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I hate to see it. Sorry, but like that is, yeah, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, right? But you know, I guess we'll take. Okay, actually, that's a lot better. Oh, we'll block. Well, all right. Can't swing it much. Besides, do I just get rid of that? Because I don't think he'd use any counter. And I want to establish that and not give him back a searcher. I could have also, yeah, I could have swung at Frankie, bounced back my Sengoku. Yeah. So here's the unfortunate part. We just have not enough counter. And if he doesn't use stage, this is a really good spot for us to hit 2 more. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's unfortunate, man. Okay. We can go. That's gotten rid of 3 of his Sanji Puddings. And we're going to go 6 at life and 7 at life. And got out another blocker. Yeah, not finding stage is a little rough. And now even if he plays out that secret rare, he can rest one of my blockers. Yeah. For sure. But still, getting the Sanji Puddings out, like, that's put us ahead so much. Let's see. 7 Don Frankie's back out. 4 Don up. We have 2 2Ks now. We have all of our 2Ks coming up, so again, we just have to kind of survive. 6. We'll 2K. We want to get our hand size a bit lower. 5 at us. Wait, no, he can only attack characters. Yeah. We'll block, right? Because this was the turn he was played. Yep. We can just Kaido. Get rid of both of these guys. And pressure his life here. Got another 2K. So yeah, if he plays out the Zoro, I mean, all you can really do is swing in my Sengoku without a big body. Let's see. So I've heard that people aren't running Luffy Taro as much in EB02, but come set 11 they are, because it's good against purple, blue Luffy, right? Because it's a 7 cost, 8k power, which means they can't put it to life with the 9 cost Big Mom, and also the 8k stat line is very nice. Oh, rude. Fair enough. I mean, I bottom deck 3 of his Sanji Puddings, you know, that's we're gonna counter out of that, stay very healthy because we can afford to. Does he have a giant up? Let's go 6 at life. We're gonna bottom deck that Luffy. because we've bottom decked 3 Sanji puddings at this point. And the 12k is still a little high for him to giant out of. Looks like he doesn't have game. Unless he played out a second one, and that no, because then he would still need Don for Frankie. Will 1k. He could also use an event to stack on Nami, right? The 3-cost event. Yeah, I think we're safe to take these, right? If he plays out like a blocker Robin, I get it back for 4 Dawn, and then we have big swings. He doesn't have enough to return with Luffy, though, to do a double swing. And I have enough counter to get out of one of them if he swings 7. Because I assume he's leaving 1 open for Giant? Yeah. We'll just swing 12 and 19. Well, we'll see what happens. Oh. But that picked him up a brick. So we'll just 19. Giant's pretty good, but I don't know if it's getting out of a 19. Kinda. GG. So we didn't even use the Mihawk on the Sanji pudding. That was just, unfortunately, he didn't find stage, right? I know Vegapunk's really good right now with all the support. I'm a little worried. Okay, just a 3-cost. It could have been a 5-cost, so I was a little worried we couldn't hit it with Law. But let's see. Ooh. Not great. We'll take a 2k. Tempted to search again. Actually, I'm tempted not to. Tempted to play out a blocker so that lowers my hand size. I don't know if I want to give him back the searcher too much, but you know. I also don't want to over counter here. But we have a Sengoku I can get back, so I guess it doesn't matter as much. Yeah, that's the new Vegapunk card. Very nice. Right? Plays off of deck, so you're not going lower in your hand size. Discard 1 card because I have 2 characters or less. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna swing life. I would swing here, but I don't know if he would just give it up. But it's nice that he has to discard. Okay. Interesting. We'll go here, bounce that back. Again, honestly, I don't really want to give it back to him, but I'd rather, you know, control the tempo of the game as we get to our big bodies. I'm assuming that deck lists run only 5 cost and under cards at this point, so I should probably start using my stack cards to, Ooh, that's a big swing. We're gonna block that. Actually, do I want to counter here? So I can, but then I don't want to use up my... No, I'm going up to 6 Dawn. I can block. Pudding. Interesting. Let's search first. Okay, that's actually really good. I was kind of worried about what I'd find. It's really hard not to pick up a 2k counter in this kind of a search, even though we already have a couple. Where we're going up to 8 Dawn. Maybe we pick a blocker. Honestly, we could play it out next turn. Oh, but then we're gonna use I forgot we're gonna use Buggy. Yeah, we'll use Buggy because I can't swing at this. So let's see, what are we gonna get off of this? Akaya and Jozu. Jozu's good. Jozu definitely for next turn. And a 2k after that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Just go 5 of life. Too many cards though, actually. I should have counted out. I made a mistake. I should have taken the time to really count my hand size. Does he play out the blocker? Yep. And he doesn't have to discard. Swing at life. Fair enough. We'll get our 2k back, and honestly, I'm tempted to just bounce my Sengoku. No, because I need for Jozu next turn and take off his tempo. Even if we give him big hand size, we can putting that even next turn if we want to, but I think I'd rather Jozu. And again, even if we're giving him value back for these searchers, we kind of outvalue him later on with these big bodies. I am kind of tempted to counter out here, because then that allows me to Jozu next turn. What do I want to get rid of? We're going to be at 8. 6 in hand. He's not really going up too much for a pudding. Does he swing here? He doesn't have stage up. Okay, yeah. Wait, I'm so silly. I'm silly goose. Why did I not put the... Oh, what? I don't know what the... Let's see. Get rid of you. I don't want to be greedy and keep the Mihawk. I just needed to move the Jozu up. I don't know why I didn't do that. Let's get a 2k back. This is kind of annoying because I can't get rid of it. Alright, we'll just swing out. Plays out the blocker again. Another blocker. Alright, we'll just swing 6. I might just leave him standing. There she. So now I'd like to putting him. Yeah, a few mistakes. He picks up another blocker and a Nami. Oof. Yep, but he won't be able to draw with the Nami. What do we bounce back from? Honestly, we can bounce back 2 things next turn. Just establish the big body. No Raigo means these are just going to stick. Another blocker. Okay, we want to start getting rid of them. We'll save that because we'll get an extra draw next turn. Oh, he's going for him. Okay, well, I don't want to give up full hand, but I do get to bully his board then. Pressure cards out of his life, and that's kind of what we want. Let's go 5 there. We almost don't want it, but if this dies, then we get to bounce our Sengoku back. Yep, okay. Let's go 7 there. That's good. So then we'll get rid of most of your board. Get a draw. Okie dokie. Okay. We're kind of just playing the long game, right? But we are giving him too much value. I should have hung on to the pudding. Really should have. Still at 5 life. So that's, yeah. Also something. Seven we can save, but I'm not going to give him my hand size unless it, oh, and me, of course, yeah, of course. Okay. Tempted to just Kaya, see what we get, right? Because I don't have an answer. Oh, Jozu's really good. Blocker Dofi's pretty good. I'm going to get rid of you and probably you. He's gonna want these to come out. So let's just try and bully his life. And then let's go over top of this, bounce the Kaya back, bounce you back, draw. Let's go 5 again. He'll let all the 5s go through or just block out with the Vegapunk, right? Because he doesn't want these to die, I'd assume. He ran through a lot of the 1-cost events. We finally got a Grab Blade. That's kind of what I've been looking for. Well, I'm hoping that he is tempted to go at my board a bit, and then we'll also play out a blocker Dofi. But yeah, next turn, Grab Blade, just oof. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. He did not know that. Okay. Well, jeez Louise. Well, I don't want to bottom deck all this right now. This will be good. Something like that, honestly. We probably won't need all of those, but I kind of wanted the 3,000 worlds, and the law could be alright. 5 at I think that was the wrong swing. Oops, yeah. That's unfortunate. 6. I'll bait out another attack and do it, I guess. I don't even think I care, I guess. Do it? No. I don't want to give up my hand size too much. I have the counter to save, but also I kind of feel bad that he swung an incorrect like swing at it, right? Because that just wouldn't happen in person, you know. Nami. Okay, there goes my blocker. But then what does he do? 5 Don. Like he has too full of a board, right? Well, like this does nothing for him but block. 7 at us. Ooh. Does he have any 3? This bottom deck's a 3 cost, right? A 4. Does he have any 4s? No, only 5s. Unfortunate to get that out of life. It would have had to been a 3,000 or a Grav Blade, right? We'll 2K. I'm not going to go down too much in life here. He resends that. All right, we're going to pressure, get rid of his whole board, I'd say. I don't really care about this. I care about getting rid of these 2. How much life are we at? 3 to 2, so this can't get KO'd, right? So maybe I want to do get rid of that. It's also a 6K. So let's go here. Honestly, I think I Kaya just to get rid of... no, because I know what I'm getting into is just more bricks, so I'd rather keep the counter in my hand. At this point, we're kind of just going to starve him a little bit. And we're going to pass. We're not going to give him that free search, right? Another Vegapunk. Yeah, this is definitely a deck that I want to build for EB02. Very fun, very fun. As you can tell, right? He's swarming board, you know, getting a lot of value. I kind of gave him a lot of value back with the Searcher, but, you know, he gets a 2K counter. At the end, this is kind of what I wanted, right? My big bodies, and then just need to find... Honestly, if Vegapunk becomes more popular, because he's been a little bit of a favorite, right? Again, this advice is just for, like your local scene, right? If you know your local's got a lot of Vegapunk, definitely Grav Blade is a good card to bump up to 3 copies, I'd say. I can get rid of 2 things here. Ooh, is that going to go on one of my face? Okay, fair enough. I can Kaido again. Let's just swing 5, get that guy out, or I can get rid of this and the blocker. Yeah, because also then I can Kaya, bounce it back with Law. Because I kind of want to just get rid of these dead cards. Probably like get rid of the, you know. Oh, Yes, that's also good. Did I see him at the end, or is this all of my... I don't know. At this point I have too many characters, so I think I just can get rid of the Mihawk. Do I need to, or do I want to get rid of... Yeah, let's go. Bring back, bring back. Let's go 7, 8, 12. He'll have to kind of block out here, I'd say. You know, the Lilith is a dead card in hand. Or he counters out here. Okay, honestly, we just pass here, and then I think it's probably GG. 2 cards in hand, 2 life, a blocker, and a 5k swing. That's it. He pops our Law, but that's fine. Oh, dare she? Does get it back up, but... Ooh. Is that the last copy of it in the deck? We'll just swing 5. What does he bring back? The blocker? Oh, yeah. See what he gets. Honestly, we might just red rock a blocker. Edison, okay. Cycle his hand a bit. Okay. Just the Lilith and a Darashi. Let's look here. What are we getting? We'll pick up that from our bottom deck so I can have 2 blockers. Yeah, that's actually perfect. So at this point, I don't know if he has the counter out of a 7. So that's why we're trying to just get rid of all these blockers. Shaka. Okay. We're gonna get rid of... Actually, I think I'd rather get rid of a target. Right? I'm tempted to not swing, but we'll just go for it. We'll have 2 blockers, 2 2Ks in hand. I don't know. Okay, that's actually makes me feel better that he blocked. Get rid of that. Play out that. So 2 swings. Unless he has a rush card and a removal. But that would force the swings to be lower. But just plays out a blocker and then plays out a Robin. Okay. That's really nice, actually. Get some draw. We'll just block out. I'll actually counter here in case I do need to use the Doflamingo to swing. Don't know. I should have looked more carefully at what else I had with the Doflamingo stack. That's actually perfect. We'll just bounce that back. Swing 7, 7, 8, 12. We know this isn't a trigger blocker at least. Okay. So we'll just swing 5 then. And if this hits a blocker out of life, we'll just swing 12 and 5? I don't know. Okay. I don't know what that... Top bottom for your life out of your hand. KO one of your opponents costs 2 or lower characters. Gotcha. Uh-huh. Okay. GG's. We're gonna take second this time. I'll mulligan this. It's not the best hand. Okay. So, okay, you know, we just need to find some... Ooh. You know, a Kaya would actually be really great now. But I don't know if I should have put this at the top of my, you know? Yeah. I don't know about this one. This is not a great, oh no, we're in trouble here. We're in trouble here. Oh, we're in a lot of trouble here. Okay, Fair enough. Let's see. We can play out 2 blockers. We can fix our hand that I should not have left at the top, but you know. We're gonna get rid of the Nami, I think. I think we're gonna get rid of the Nami. And then we'll swing 5 of your life. And play out blocker and let's look at the top 5 now. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna bottom deck these. Honestly, I don't like them too much. It's like a lot of our 2Ks. It's 3 2Ks out of 12, right? But I don't know about it. We don't really have answers for 6 Dawn. Yeah, I'm gonna bottom deck. I don't like it. I really should have bottom decked it with the Perona. But I was just a little too fast clicking that, right? I'm gonna red rock that. I'm gonna red rock that. That's what we're gonna do. 6 at us. I feel like I want to take just for a Jozu chance we don't get it. Chopper blocker. Interesting. That's cool. He's not Straw Hat though. Wait, he's not Straw Hat. So he has to block out with this like immediately. Or he doesn't get to use his leader ability again. We're going to get rid of that Sanji Pudding for right now. And then we're just going to pass because I can't swing at him. Right? Yeah, he doesn't get to use his leader ability. He just puts 2 Dom back. He doesn't become a 6K. Yeah. That's what happens. Yeah, the chopper from the Foxy Pirates does not have the... We're gonna use... we have a Mihawk already. We have some answers. Let's use Perona. 3 Dawn. At least he did not become a 6K leader. So that's good for us. Ooh. Alright, we'll 1K again. I guess we'll use the grab blade, right? And yeah, we'll search with the Sengoku, sure. We have answers for the next couple turns. Yeah, definitely got to get rid of that chopper blocker. Do I take another Mihawk? That's kind of greedy. We have 2 blockers and 3 life and a 2K, so maybe. Alright. You could get a Sanji Pudding out. Or 6 at us. We'll 2K. Another Zoro. I guess we'll grab Blade. Gets the Sanji Pudding. So we'll grab Blade, these 2. Let's do another blocker. Honestly, sure. I'm foregoing. Like, I'm able to control tempo right so much right now that let's get a 2K from this. And then honestly just stack 2Ks because we kind of need them. Stack a couple of 2Ks up. We don't really need the law so much, so just go here, boom, bam. Get a 2K. So we have 3 blockers, a 2K. He's gonna play out that Sanji Pudding next turn. We're gonna bottom deck it. He could play out 2, right? Yeah. So we can deal with them. We've gotten rid of 1 so far. I kind of have to block out because then I'm just playing over top of character, which I'd rather not do. So now we can just accumulate 2Ks and counter in our hands. Gets a 6 cost. Do you have another pudding? No. He's got a blocker. That's pretty nice. And then searches gets another. So let's get rid of you. Draw. And then we're going to go 6 and 7. Have 2 blockers up. I like this card a lot in this matchup However, it feels like you can just hope that they have a slow start, hope they don't find the stage or the Sanji pudding enough, right? I feel like it's about keeping 2 of them off the board. If they have 2 Sanji puddings on the board, it's really hard to deal with and they start snowballing. 7 at us. We'll block out one of those. We still have a lot of counter. 6. We'll give it 2k. Right. Will he swing? We do have a 9k. We can swing back in here. 8 at us. He restands. We'll block. We'll take, I guess. So he probably has a giant that he's willing to go down to 1 life. Let's just get rid of this guy and go 6, 7, 9 at life. Honestly, we can get rid of his blocker and then kind of secure the win. I'd hope. He has a lot of cards in hand though. I mean, it's still the same thing, 6k versus 6k. And then we have 2 9k power bodies now to help us get past the giant. And we also have pudding too. We'll see what he does with this 6k, and then we'll start going into the Sanji. We'll see what he does. Gives it 2k. Okay. And we'll go there. So I guess he doesn't have a 1k. He lets it go. And then we'll go 9 of life. Cool. So again, he just didn't find stage, right? Which was unfortunate, but we did have the answers though in the tempo that we would have needed. Like if he had stage on the turn that I played out this, it wouldn't have mattered, right? He does technically get 3 swings here, but we have enough counter, so we got it, right? Because he's only able to go 7 3 times. Does have a very big hand though, but yeah, no Dawn open for giant. We'll just counter out here. Yeah, I think the Mihawk is a really nice option for this matchup, right? But just hoping that they don't have like stage or see enough Sanji put. Oh, GG. Right, is also just what you hope for against this matchup. I don't know. That's why I feel like, I don't know. I guess we have to see what the meta is going to shape up, right? Because we do have a slightly different meta than what they had in the East. So are we just worrying about green purple Luffy? I don't know. Again, I think realistically, if you have any tournaments towards the beginning, you know, it's just going to still be a lot of shanks and such. And it's a shorter meta, right? Set 11's coming out in like, what, June or July? So yeah, those are some games. I do think that the Mihawk has a place, especially being a searchable, very nice top-end piece. Does pretty good into green purple Luffy, I'd say. Again, if they can find their pieces and really go off, you know, there's times where they can they've got 2 stages, right? Like a stage in hand, 1 already on board. You know, they can buff up both of their Sanji puddings, right? If they have 2 on the board, buff up 2 of them to 7 cost, and then it's really impossible for us to get rid of both of them, you know. But I think for the most part, if we are able to play out blockers, right, stay pretty healthy, and then just chip away at the board state, getting rid of 1 of their big bodies at a time, hopefully we can survive long enough to turn the tides, you know, and go back at them. That's why I also do like the Kaido, right? Because it can get rid of a Sanji pudding, a Rush Luffy if it's buffed up, you know, and get us something from our hand back, or our side of the board back to our hand if we want to, which is good, you know. especially in the later turns if you might be burning out of resources with a lot of those 7k swings coming at us. I don't know. I want to do a lot more testing with the list for sure, but it does feel okay. I don't know. Yeah. I wonder what the ratios I would like the best will end up being. I wonder, like, yeah, 3 does seem like a lot, especially with it being searchable. I don't want them to clog my hand so much, but it's just really nice to be able to bottom deck the Sanji pudding and then just they can't get it back out, right? Bouncing it back does set them back, of course. And the 7k stat line is really good because it requires 2ks out of hand when you're swinging at their life. But just bottom decking it straight up does feel really, really good. And the fact that if they don't find stage, you know, being able to 3000 worlds or grav blade is very, very strong for getting rid of their tempo. And I do think that this build still does very, very well into our previous good matchups, right? Like Shanks and Blackbeard, being that we still have relatively the same amount of events. I think maybe I cut this down to 2, put Red Rock back up to 4 if we don't see only green purple Luffy, you know, because Red Rock still very good against Shanks, Blackbeard, and such. So yeah, I think maybe 2 copies of this, bump Red Rock back up. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you're playing Boa in set 10, how you've been liking it, if you're looking forward to it in set EB02, or what deck are you looking forward to in EB02. Let me know in the comments. But of course, leave a like, subscribe. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.